Welcome to science class for 4th standard, and the topic is air, water and weather. So in the previous class we have learnt about land breeze, sea breeze. So let me today continue the lesson with the next topic, that is water. So children, all the living organisms need water for their survival. It is very essential, isn't it? It is very essential. Without water we cannot just think, isn't it? So children, all the living organisms need water for their survival. Okay. So water is the most important and most abundantly found compound on the earth. Nearly 70% of earth is covered with water. Nearly 70% of earth is covered with water. So children, let us today learn about water. So what are the properties of water? What are the properties of water? What are the sources of water? So children, what are the sources of water? You have learned in your smaller classes in first standard, second standard also. So the main sources of water are rivers, lakes, seas and oceans. So most of the water is found in the form of ice caps near the poles. Okay. Even it is present in the air in the form of water vapor. Even clouds are made up of water. Even the clouds are made up of water. Some water is found in underground. Some water is found in underground, which can be drawn out by tube wells. Which can be drawn out by tube wells. And also, you know children, a very small percent of fresh water, a very small percent of fresh water, that is 0.1% is available for human use in rivers, lakes and as groundwater. Okay. So let us move on to the next properties of water. So what are the properties of pure water? So that is pure water is colorless, tasteless, transparent, and also children, many substances dissolved in water. Many substances dissolved in water, so it is known as universal solvent. So it is known as universal solvent. So what are the forms of water? What are the forms of water? You can just see here. So the three forms of water. The water exists in three forms, that is solid, liquid and gas. Solid in the form of ice, liquid as water, here you can see in the picture here, and gaseous, that is water vapor. Okay. So water exists in all the three forms, solid, liquid and gas. So children, so water can be changed from one form to another by heating or cooling. By heating or cooling. So water can be changed from one form to another. So children, what is evaporation? So the water gets heated up by the sun. The water gets heated up by the sun. So it changes into water vapor. It changes into water vapor. This change of water into water vapor is known as evaporation. Okay, this is known as evaporation. When the water gets heated up by the sun, it changes into water vapor. Okay, so there are few factors that affects the evaporation. So let us learn about that. So I have written on the board answer. What are the factors that affects evaporation? So the first point is speed of wind, surface area, change in temperature and humidity in air. So they have given a few activities here, children. So how can we show the speed of wind? Okay, to show that the rate of evaporation increases. To show that the rate of evaporation increases with the increase in wind speed. So what we have to do? What is the procedure? They have given activity in your book. You can just go through your textbook there. So what is the procedure, children? Take two saucers of equal size and fill it with equal amount of water. Okay, fill it with equal amount of water. Then what you need to do? Keep one of them under the fan. So fill the saucers with equal amount of water. Keep one of the saucer under the fan and the other one in another room where there is no fan or wind. You have to just keep it like that, and you can observe after 1 hour. What you can observe there? You will notice that the saucer which was kept under the fan evaporates faster. Okay, dries faster. So what is the conclusion here? So what you can come to know there? So this shows that the strong wind makes the evaporation faster. So we can say that strong wind makes the evaporation faster. Okay, children. And the next second point is to show that the rate of evaporation increases with increase in surface area. Increase in surface area. So what you need to do? Take hand towels of equal size. Take hand towels of equal size, wet them in water. Okay, wet them in water, fold one of them 2 to 3 times to make the exposed area smaller, and then what you need to do, allow them to dry, allow both of them to dry. So what you can see there, what you can notice there, the open hand towel dries faster. Okay, the open hand towel dries faster than the folded one. As water vapor, as water evaporates faster if the exposed area is larger. So the folded towel, it will take more time to dry. So the open hand towel, that was you can say that it is faster if the exposed area is larger, the exposed surface is larger. So like that, it affects the evaporation there. And the third point is change in temperature. So that is activity 4. To show that the rate of evaporation increases with increase in temperature. Rate of evaporation increases with increase in temperature. So what is the procedure here? So you need to take 2 bowls with equal amount of water again, and leave one bowl in the room in open and the other under the sunlight. So what you can observe there, after 3 to 4 hours, so the bowl with water kept out almost dries up. Okay, the bowl which was kept outside under the sunlight dries up, and whereas the water in the bowl kept in the room remains almost the same. So by this we can say that, by this experiment we can say that the rate of evaporation increases with the increase in temperature. Okay, so like this, the factors, these are the factors that affect evaporation, children. And then children, on a hot day, on a hot, sunny and windy day, when the air is dry, on a hot, sunny and windy day, when the air is dry, the clothes dry increases than the rainy day, because the air has lot of humidity. The air has lot of humidity in the air on rainy day there. Okay, so strong wind, high temperature, dry air and large surface area increase the rate of evaporation. So the next point is condensation. What is condensation? The process of conversion of water vapor into water. Okay, the process of conversion of water into water vapor is known as condensation. The process of conversion of water vapor into water is called condensation. To show that, some activities I show you on the board here, children. So what you need to do, take a kettle filled with water, keep it on the gas stove for boiling. Okay, fill it with water. Take a kettle filled with water, keep it on the gas stove for boiling. You can see the steam coming out of the kettle here. So what happens? The steam strikes the pan here. So what you need to do, you have to fill this pan with ice cold water. Okay. So when the steam comes out of the kettle, it strikes the pan here. That is the cold surface here. Okay. And then you can see the droplets. Okay, you can see the droplets here falling from the pan, from the bottom of the pan here. You can collect it in a bowl. So this is called condensation. Okay. The process of conversion of water vapor into water is called condensation. By seeing this picture, you can easily make out. And the next next topic is water cycle. So what is water cycle, children? The movement of water from the earth to the atmosphere and back to the earth is called water cycle. The movement of water from the earth to the atmosphere and back to the earth is called water cycle. The sun heats up the water. The sun heats up the water from rivers, seas, lakes and oceans. Okay, the sun heats up the water from the water bodies, rivers, lakes, seas and oceans. As the exposed water becomes hot due to the heat of the sun, it evaporates to form the water vapors there. It evaporates to form water vapors there. So what happens? As the water vapors are lighter, as the hot water vapors are lighter, what happens here? It rises up into the atmosphere. As the hot water vapors are lighter, they rises up into the atmosphere. When the water vapor reach the cold upper regions, of the atmosphere, they condense into droplets. Okay, they condense into droplets. So these droplets group together to form clouds. These droplets group together to form clouds. As the clouds move along with the air current, what happens? The drops join together to form bigger drops. And when these drops are heavy, they fall as rain. This is called precipitation. This is called precipitation. And then children, the rainwater gets collected in streams, rivers, and which flows towards the sea. So the water cycle then begins all over again. The water cycle begins all over again. You can see. So what happens here? When the rainwater gets collected in rivers and streams, it flows back towards the sea here. Okay. So which flows down towards the sea. So the water cycle then begins all over again. So the continuous cycling of water among its three forms keeps the reservoirs of the earth alive, the seas and the land masses. Okay. The continuous cycling of water among its three forms keeps the water reservoirs of the earth alive, the seas and the land masses. Okay children. So let me end my class here. In the next class, let us learn about the different forms of precipitation. Okay. So let me end my class here. Thank you children. See you in the next class.